Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm John, old YouTuber and PC gamer. Let's get started today. I got some sleep tonight and just download a lot of PDF from the internet. But because of the copyright, I don't think it's good. I record from internet. Download a lot of PDF documents like this one, Intel Core 2 processors, but this is 820 pages, but this is volume 2, that's this 12th generation Intel Core, so a lot of information there, but I think it will not be so good. That's the one there, that volume 1, 208 pages. This is volume 2. Yes, so just start to download that last night, so I have that now, but I don't think, because of Intel is a big company, I don't think it should start to make 200 videos about Intel documents. I think that's not good. It's something I have to read myself. I don't know if I should record. I don't think so. But 10:30. Let's get started. Let's close the doors and windows. I made a video list this morning. I was driving American Truck Simulator a little bit. I could do that later today. I'm going to cook hot food today. Rice and fish. I only eat hot food every 3 days. So let's get started. This is Blaise Pascal, and who is he? The inventor of this Pascal's calculator I did read about yesterday. No, I was reading this PDF about computer science. Then they mentioned this abacus, the early how you calculate, and then mechanical calculators. No, in the computer science there was mentioned kind of history before the computer, the abacus from the old days, medieval time, and then mechanical calculators, and then some persons around there. I need to finish this before I go back to the programming language. And inside this mechanical calculator, that did mention this Pascal's calculator from the 16th centuries. And Blaise Pascal, he's the inventor of that. This is why I do it. And this is 16 pages. And after that I will do the calculator and cash register. Mechanical computer, but this will take many days. So, but I've just spent like 2 weeks to walk around in GTA 5 online. No, GTA 5. I was walking around on the map. I was walking around the big island. So if I can do that, I can do this. I'm learning something from here. But let's get started. This will take my whole day, and I need the shower and the shaving today. I need to put my gamer keyboard away, and I have to put the sound level 58. But if I do like 2 or 3 every day of this PDF, that would be like 100 every month. If I do 3 every day. But that depends how big they are. I have to check my cell phone if I have to do anything. I don't think so. No. Yes. So let's get started. But of course I don't need to read all this about all these people because there will be many days more. But now I did it. Now I like to do it. I spent time to download this, and I have the PDF. But he's the inventor, the creator of this, the world's first mechanical calculator. He did that in age of 19. He was teenager when he did that, so he was very young. But that did in old days, 300 years ago, the male are not getting very old. They only get like 50. They died very young. They're not getting like 80 years old. They died very young. So they have a short life 300 years ago. Let's read to end of documents.
Blaise Pascal. Blaise Pascal Versailles.jpg. Painting of Pascal made by Francois II Quesnel for Jure de Delink in 1691, born 19 June 1623, Clermont-Ferrand, orphan, France, died 19 August 1662, aged 39, Paris, France. Nationality French, era 17th century. Philosophergian Western philosophy school. Cartesianism, Jansenism, Fideism. Main interests: theology, mathematics, philosophy, physics. Notable ideas: probability theory, Pascal's wager, Pascal's triangle, Pascal's law, Pascal's theorem. Blaise Pascal /Pascal, also UK/SKL, P Latin letter AESKL school /Carl, Pascal, Cal, US/PSKL/Pascal. Winking sad smiley 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, French, BLZ Pascal. The 19th of June, 1623, 19 August 1662, was a French mathematician, physicist, inventor, philosopher, writer, and Catholic theologian. He was a child prodigy who was educated by his father, a tax collector in Rouen. Pascal's earliest mathematical work was on conic sections. He wrote a significant treatise on the subject of projective geometry at the age of 16. He later corresponded with Pierre de Fermat on probability theory, strongly influencing the development of modern economics and social science. In 1642, while still a teenager, he started some pioneering work on calculating machines, called Pascal's calculators and later Pascalines, establishing him as one of the first 2 inventors of the mechanical calculator. 8, 9. Like his contemporary René Descartes, Pascal was also a pioneer in the natural and applied sciences. Pascal wrote in defense of the scientific method and produced several controversial results. He made important contributions to the study of fluids, and clarified concepts of pressure and vacuum by generalizing the work of Evangelista Torricelli. Following Torricelli and Galileo Galilei, he butted the likes of Aristotle and Descartes, who insisted that nature abhors a vacuum in 1647. In 1646, he and his sister Jacqueline identified with the religious movement within Catholicism known by its detractors as Jansenism. 10. Following a religious experience in late 1654, he began writing influential works on philosophy and theology. His two most famous works date from this period: the Lettres Provinciales and the Pensées, the former set in the conflict between Jansenists and Jesuits. The latter contains Pascal's wager, known in the original as the Discourse on the Machine, a fideistic probabilistic argument for God's existence. In that year, he also wrote an important treatise on the arithmetical triangle. Between 1658 and 1659, he wrote on the cycloid and its use in calculating the volume of solids. Throughout his life, Pascal was in frail health, especially after the age of 18. He died just 2 months after his 39th birthday. 11. Contents. Pascal's calculator. Influences St. Augustine of Hippo, Michel de Montaigne, Etienne Pascal, René Descartes, Gilles de Roberval. 1. Cornelius Jansen, Epictetus, Evangelista Torricelli, Girolamo Cardano. 2. Influenced William Lane Craig, Antoine Arnauld, Pierre Duhem, William James, G. W. Leibniz, Leon Brunswick, Alexis de Tocqueville, Henry Bergson. Life, Early Life and Education Essay on Conics. Leaving Paris. Pascaline. Mathematics Probability. Treatise on the Arithmetical Triangle. Cycloid. Physics Fluid Dynamics. Vacuum. Adult Life, Religion, Literature, and Philosophy. Religious Conversion, the Memorial. Literature, the Provincial Letters. Philosophy. Philosophy of Mathematics, the Pensées. Last Works and Death. Legacy. Cultural references. Works. See also. References. Further reading. External links. Life. Early Life and Education. Pascal was born in Clermont-Ferrand, which is in France's Orphan region, by the Massif Central. He lost his mother, Antoinette Begon, at the age of 3. 12. His father, Etienne Pascal, 1588-1651, who also had an interest in science and mathematics, was a local judge and member of the noblesse de robe. Pascal had 2 sisters, the younger Jacqueline and the elder Gilbert. In 1631, 5 years after the death of his wife, Etienne Pascal moved with his children to Paris. The newly arrived family soon hired Louise Delfault, a maid who eventually became an instrumental member of the family. Etienne, who never remarried, decided that he alone would educate his children, for they all showed extraordinary intellectual ability, particularly his son Blaise. The young Pascal showed an amazing aptitude for mathematics and science. Pascal's birthplace. Essay on Conics. Particularly of interest to Pascal was a work of Desargues on conic sections. Following Desargues' thinking, the 16-year-old Pascal produced, as a means of proof, a short treatise on what was called the mystic hexagram, Essai pour les coniques, Essay on Conics, and sent it, his first serious work of mathematics, to Paris-Mersenne in Paris. It is known still today as Pascal's theorem. It states that if a hexagon is inscribed in a circle, or conic, then the 3 intersection points of opposite sides lie on a line, called the Pascal line. Pascal's work was so precocious that René Descartes was convinced that Pascal's father had written it. When assured by Mersenne that it was, indeed, the product of the son and not the father, Descartes dismissed it with a sniff. I do not find it strange that he has offered demonstrations about conics more appropriate than those of the ancients, adding, but other matters related to this subject can be proposed that would scarcely occur to a 16-year-old child. 13. Leaving Paris. In France at that time offices and positions could be and were bought and sold. In 1631, Etienne sold his position as second president of the Cour des Aides for 65,665 livres. 14. The money was invested in a government bond which provided, if not a lavish, then certainly a comfortable income which allowed the Pascal family to move to, and enjoy, Paris. But in 1638 Richelieu, desperate for money to carry on the 30 Years' War, defaulted on the government's bonds. Suddenly Etienne Pascal's worth had dropped from nearly 66,000 livres to less than 7,300. Like so many others, Etienne was eventually forced to flee Paris because of his opposition to the fiscal policies of Cardinal Richelieu, leaving his 3 children in the care of his neighbor Madame Saintot, a great beauty with an infamous past who kept one of the most glittering and intellectual salons in all France. It was only when Jacqueline performed well in a children's play with Richelieu in attendance that Etienne was pardoned. In time, Etienne was back in good graces with the cardinal and in 1639 had been appointed King's Commissioner of Taxes in the city of Rouen, a city whose tax records, thanks to uprisings, were in utter chaos. Pascaline. An early Pascaline on display at the Musée des Arts et Métiers, Paris in 1642, in an effort to ease his father's endless, exhausting calculations, and recalculations, of taxes owed and paid, into which work the young Pascal had been recruited. Pascal, not yet 19, constructed a mechanical calculator capable of addition and subtraction, called Pascal's calculator or the Pascaline. Of the 8 Pascalines known to have survived, 4 are held by the Musée des Arts et Métiers in Paris and 1 more by the Zwinger Museum in Dresden, Germany. Exhibit 2 of his original mechanical calculators. 15. Although these machines are pioneering forerunners to a further 400 years of development of mechanical methods of calculation and in a sense to the later field of computer engineering, the calculator failed to be a great commercial success. Partly because it was still quite cumbersome to use in practice, but probably primarily because it was extraordinarily expensive. The Pascaline became little more than a toy, and a status symbol, for the very rich both in France and elsewhere in Europe. Pascal continued to make improvements to his design throughout the next decade, and he refers to some 50 machines that were built to his design. 16. He built 20 finished machines over the following 10 years. 17. Mathematics. Probability. Pascal's development of probability theory was his most influential contribution to mathematics. Originally applied to gambling, today it is extremely important in economics, especially in actuarial science. John Ross writes, probability theory and the discoveries following it changed the way we regard uncertainty, risk decision-making, and an individual's and society's ability to influence the course of future events. 18. However, Pascal and Fermat, though doing important early work in probability theory, did not develop the field very far. Christian Huygens, learning of the subject from the correspondence of Pascal and Fermat, wrote the first book on the subject. Later figures who continued the development of the theory include Abraham de Moivre and Pierre-Simon Laplace. In 1654, prompted by his friend the Chevalier de Mere, he corresponded with Pierre de Fermat on the subject of gambling problems, and from that collaboration was born the mathematical theory of probabilities. 19. The specific problem was that of 2 players who want to finish a game early and, given the current circumstances of the game, want to divide the stakes fairly, based on the chance each has of winning the game from that point. From this discussion, the notion of expected value was introduced. Pascal later, in the Pensées, used a probabilistic argument, Pascal's wager, to justify belief in God and a virtuous life. The work done by Fermat and Pascal into the calculus of probabilities laid important groundwork for Leibniz formulating